Welcome to Sunday here at Laurel Park. Big news, Keith. That Rainbow Pick 6 carryover hit yesterday in the last because the 3 ended up on top and somebody singled in on that. So congratulations to that. Taking a look today, we've got it now. Winter's coming. Winter is coming. Nice 34 degrees. It's pretty windy out there. I wouldn't say it's like Windy City, Chicago, but pretty darn close today, Keith.
Yeah, it's breezy, no doubt. Wind chill probably down in the 20s, but hey, we'll deal with it. The sun is out, thank goodness. And yeah, congrats to that lucky bettor yesterday, 51,000. And everybody thought after the first leg with Angel Art blowing it up at 40 to 1, we'll have a little carryover. No, nothing's going anywhere. Wow. Sure enough.
That was
it's gone.
Especially hitting that first race in that pool. So well done to them because that was some skill. You got that on skill. So congratulations to you. But with that being said, let's kick off our 9 race day card that we've got going on here. Maiden special weight. You've got the number 4. We both had the number 4 on top. Sports editor Ned Allard, J-Ron Barbosa back in the saddle. These two haven't gotten a win together, but they're 4 for 6 in the money on the dirt as of late.
It's a tough card, Callie. You know,
it's
you started out.
Card.
Yeah, you started out. I mean, we've got a couple horses bet down early, but sports editor is going to be my top selection. We both end up. This horse had a little trouble at Delaware. Good pickup by the chart colors up there early. Didn't put in a short comment. If you go back and read the long footnotes, you get that. I think this horse gets a little bit of better break. Made a move into a pretty decent pace just to flatten out just a little bit. Had a little steady, too, into the turn. So sports editor going to get you going in race 1.
In race 1, I like that. I also like Ned Allard, who is 19% recently with his second start. 3 for 16. Helps that with a 9 for 16 in the money as well. So absolutely sports editor on top. You and I both have the number 5 underneath, Crack the Code, which you have a video spotlight on this George A. Duarte Jr. starter who keeps getting closer to breaking that maiden.
Yeah, this guy might be a little bit of a teaser, huh? He gives you that effort, and he doesn't really bring, a super, super strong run. Just kind of that steady progression, a grinding run. Isn't going to be able to get it done this afternoon. On the 30th, just makes that menacing move up. Maritas at 1-2, just a little too good. Ran into another solid. I believe that was a Russell runner, right? If I'm not
mistaken. Was a Russell runner, yes.
And just too good. But this guy tries. 7-8 should work. Should be well within his scope here to get the distance with good energy. There's a pattern there. Is he just going to chase and be right around there second and third for a lot? I come back to sports editor because I tell you what, out of that race at Delaware, there was a horse that keyed up and was close to Crack the Code at Mama. So all of the adversity the sports editor faced in debut, I think he can kind of benefit from that run and be forward and stay the trip with Barbosa.
I also thought he was asked to touch early with Crack the Code last time out, so I think Toledo had to get some fire underneath that horse, but I do think it might have been a touch early. So you also have this number 6 underneath Gold Bar. As you mentioned, Brittany Russell, Fergal Lynch takes the call. Brittany Russell, we don't know much on Brittany Russell from the synthetic to the dirt, so I'm liking this. She was successful with it yesterday. Another buy from Michael Stidham, first time in her barn, went away a winner that time out yesterday. But see the same situation happening for Gold Bar again today, possibly.
Yeah, synthetic to dirt by Blame. You're looking at it. This was a full to a grade 3 winner. There's dirt in the family, right? So I'm not really worried about that. 4 winning sieves. This horse will bring a finish, has the bottom off of that synthetic surface, Callie. Classic Legend, interesting. Another one showed speed going synth to the main track. The one, Celtic Cousin for Hammy Smith. This horse has been entered scratch about 19 times, okay?
Yes. Okay.
So they're just obviously looking for that spot. Maybe they've got the spot today. This is a horse that's fooled Hunter Joe. Hunter Joe, if you don't remember, was a horse that blew up the tote, a big price. I think that might have been first or second gelding when he scores. This guy comes in as a gelding. Works look good. Steady string of works, looks solid. Inside post. I think he's going to bring a run in here. They've been patient trying to find that right spot. Maybe today is the day right there in debut for Hammy and company.
A nice gate work leading into back on November 6th, a 101 and 5 coming out of the gate. But interesting that they've re-entered, scratched again for being okay with this horse going first time out of the gate. So interesting play on that one. So we'll see how that lines up as well. Race number 2 starts not your early pick 3 today, but early pick 4. Not your early, excuse excuse me. I just
you had it right the
I
first time.
I just blew
you
the
got to
punchline.
settle down here. Settle down. We got you going.
I blew the punchline. So your early pick 3. Excuse me. Take it away. Explain why a pick 3 today, Keith.
Well, the pick 3 today, Callie, is what we talked about walking in the doors of this studio. It is a difficult card, and if I'd have gone for an early pick 4 ticket, it'd have been way over the cost that I like to give out. Hence, we stay here. And remember, rolling pick 3s here at Laurel Park. So do it a little different here. 11, 12, 14, 3 deep in race 2 with that indefatigable Battle Bus and Panster. 4 deep in race 3. I think there's just a lot. I'd like to hit the all button in race 3, but I'll go 7, 8, 9, 10. A little outside theme here going. And race 4 with the 6, 9, and 10. Great idea. Young Turk going to be a little shorter price, I think. And Mosler safe. Had some trouble on the turf. There's your ticket, $18. I think that race 3 is a real scramble.
Absolutely, it is. There's a lot going on in race 3, but let's go back into race number 2. An interesting starter optional 12-5, 5.5 here on the turf. I think it is our last day on the turf here at Laurel Park. So let's kick into Battle Bus right away. I have him underneath. Okay. You cannot leave this horse off of your ticket. It's just it's Battle Bus. I know the horse from the morning, so he's going to show up when he wants to show up. But he did show up last time out, Keith.
Yeah, he was keen from the gate. He had speed in between horses. He steadied to the half, and then he steadies again here. Has to back out of it as a 3-way scramble, takes it to the top of the stretch. But I tell you, Yummer's able to kind of work outside and get a finish from this guy. He has been bringing this kind of finish of late. Maybe this is the old Battle Bus. We'll see if he can come back one more time at 6 and pair up races because he's going to have to. But I give him the edge. He's 6 for 12 over this turf course. He loves to sprint. He's got a draw in which he should be comfortable through that first quarter of a mile and have that finish. Picks up weight. There's no doubt about it for all those weight guys out there. He's picking up, 7 pounds off of the last race. And maybe that'll be the deterrent and what brings him down. But I think he's a logical horse in here. I can trust him. The 14 does come in.
Right.
Panster, I think, moving from a route back to a sprint is going to do this one some good. So 12, 14, 11.
Okay.
Has to save a little bit more ground, this Ferris Allen runner, indefatigable. John Novello, he's very capable, was just kind of, a little too wide last time, a little too soon, and just didn't bring that punch.
It's going to be hard, though.
Yeah, I know, but let's see if there's a couple of these horses that show a little bit of speed he can draft in and stay covered up maybe, and then work out that seam. So we'll see.
That's a more practical approach to what that horse is going to be getting. 12, 14, 11, 8 for Keith Fustel. Starting off his early pick 3, I go 4, 5, 8, 12. Race number 3, as Keith talked about, pretty competitive enough. Maiden claiming 20 that we've got here, going short on the dirt. Scratch the 5, Danny's Wickster. Leaves you with the number 10 on top, Silver Patron. Kenny Cox, Charlie Marquez might get the luck with that outside draw today.
That's what we're going to need. We've been chasing Silver Patron, and it feels like we've drank too much Patron right after this stuff. So, no. I think Silver Patron finally gets the right kind of spot outside, positional speed. You saw the rebid a couple races back. Right. That's what kind of got me going. Blinkers have gone on, but he's just encountered a ton of trouble. A little drop in class, keying up against the right kind. Let's hope. I'm going to use the 7, Wyatt Ridgely, just because he's an ornery kid. And, no, I think Wyatt Ridgely's got a shot in here. Made a sneaky little middle move on the turf. Golden Lads, they're okay on the turf. Much better on the dirt. So I think this horse is a good little value play in here. Showed a good work prior on the main track prior to that turf start. 3 dirt-winning Sibs. Why not? Doesn't have to be a whole lot to make a run into this wide open affair.
Absolutely. Golden Lad 17% with that second time start. I go with the rail horse. I go with the Cal Lynch horse. You're talking about and I've brought this up a couple of times. Every time Cal Lynch has one that doesn't perform or technically underperforms up to Cal Lynch standards, 27% of the time, they come back firing, and not only firing in the winner's circle. So poor last race. The stat on that is 12 for 44 as of late. So this horse is going to come back swinging. You got Angel Cruz, who they're sitting at 44% together on the turf as of late right now. So I can just see everything going, all systems go right from that rail post just to really get this horse energized a little bit. With the drop, should help as well.
That's an interesting. So you've got stats.
Yes.
Off of a poor last race.
Yes.
That's interesting.
Yes. So the stat is, this is Thorough Manager, but the stat is poor last race, past 44 starts with poor last race. So I need to look into it more, but I'm thinking we're talking about losing by double digits.
Okay.
So this is where this horse falls into this category.
Mm-hmm.
12 out of the 44. Next time out, they're winning.
Wow.
2 seconds, 8/3. So this horse is gonna be hitting the board no matter what. So that's what I really like. I go with the 8 underneath as well. Foul Nation, Jamie Ness. He's always better second time with these second time starters coming out. Freedom Child helps out a little bit, but just didn't fire away at all. So I'm assuming we're going to be getting a little bit of an uptick in that with this Jamie Ness starter. Why not? This is a race that could go any which way. I know you said you could have added a couple of more on your ticket, so this is where I pick it up.
Nothing surprises me in race 3. Whoever ends up going to that winner's circle, no shocker to Jethro here. The one looks like he's going to go ahead and be sent from the inside. Dale's horse coming back quick, Chase a little bit better, a little bit of a fade. So you got a slew of ways to go in race number 3. It's very confusing.
Let's try and make things easier on ourselves. Race number 4 is a claiming 12-5, never win 2, 7 furlongs on the dirt. Scratch the 1A Violent Rock, the number 5 Toss a Coin, the number 11 Pudge Boy Palace, number 12 Vote Them All Out, and the number 13 Ruffy. I had to adjust a little bit, but you and I both have the number 10. Excuse me, guys. Sorry about that. Race number 4, I single in on the 9. You've got a stat coming up on that for you, Keith Fustel.
Yeah.
Race number 6 is where I kind of take up that charge of race number 3. I continue that trend a little bit in that allowance short on the turf. There's a lot for these fillies to offer in this race. So I go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 9, and the 14 draws in that race. So if I could have added the 14, I would have, but I started getting a touch expensive. So and then I whittle it down. But really, the stat, it really helps me out that I've got a Keith Fustel stat on my single starting off on race number 4. I'm looking at your face. You're like, I'm worried. Yeah. But race number 6 is where I go wide, a $28.80 ticket to get you going on that sequence. But without further ado, let's go ahead and kick into race number 4. Again, as I mentioned, this claiming 12-5, 7 furlongs on the dirt. Keith, you land on the number 10, Mosler Safe, who I have underneath as well.
Yeah, reach for a little price. I think Young Turk, after looking at this, I've got him lined too high. It's 7-2. I think he's going to come down, maybe even 5-2, a little bit lower when it's all said and done. You got a couple scratches in here. I take a shot with the 10 Mosler Safe. Maybe the 7/8 is a little too far, but he's got a good back number on the turf. He got in trouble last time out on the grass. I said good back number on the dirt. I say trouble last time on the turf. Finished up with pretty good energy. The way this track, and we saw this track change Friday when we got back. They look like they added some sand, whatever. The track is slower. It's more demanding. Okay, horses just kind of grind on. Nobody's really accelerating on this racetrack. We saw a couple good, horses kind of takes them a while to get going, and they may be able to go away to the wire. But his draw, it's a chase kind of a, pick for me and grind it out, and hopefully he can get it done. I'm just worried about 7/8 of a mile.
That's why I left him underneath.
Okay.
I like him, and I'm seeing everything that you're seeing. I just wasn't ready to be fully committed going the 7 furlong. So wait and see approach for me today with Mosler Safe, where I leave it with the number 9, Young Turk, Jerry Robb, Xavier Perez. We've got a Keith Fustel stat that starts my single on my Rainbow Pick 6 at Keith. Jerry Robb, 3 years on the dirt.
Yeah, last 3 years on the dirt, second off the claim. This angle works 31%, 12 for 39, 28 for 39 in the money, a 237 positive there ROI. Keys up against the right. It's kind as well. Went back this morning and looked at it. The horse at Churchill, 3 races back, came back. He won 3 of his next 4 races. Hot horses, Young Turk has faced. Maybe 5.5, a little move into that blistering pace last time. Took a little starch out of him. Slight fade. Things are going to be more comfortable today with Young Turk. Good spot right back for the 25, the number in which they took him. He looks like a stayer the whole way. If with a clean break, he should be up and about for most of this trip, if not all of the trip.
And that's exactly what I went with. That's just placing them correctly. You also go with Great Idea underneath for Dale Capuano. I like that pick a lot. I had that horse in my attention as well, especially coming off. We're coming back to the dirt. Dale Capuano places them well when he gets them from back to the turf to the dirt.
Yeah, they're just trying to find the right spot. A couple frustrating beats last time. Again, had to work through some traffic. Dirt number, the top is a mid-50. That really isn't going to get it done here, but I think he's a better horse right now, Callie, and goes back first blinkers ever on the dirt. You go on the way back, a little rank closed up at 5/8, then a little middle move at a route. I think 7/8 should be good for this horse on the main track.
Absolutely, and Dale Capuano, 31% third after the layoff as of lately, 11 for 35, so that certainly helps as well. Keith Fusel, 6'9", 10-6-9-8, excuse me. I go 9-2-4-10 in race number 4. Race number 5 is this maiden claiming 30. A mile and 16th on the dirt scratch. The 1A Stellar Loot scratch. Big scratch in the 7B West for Hugh McMahon. I had that horse on top. You might have had. Did you have that horse on top as well, Keith?
That horse would have been on top in a very, very short price. Yep.
Yep, absolutely. So we both contend with an 8-1 Bubba Chrome. Kenny Cox, William Humphrey. Really solid, strong effort last time out. I think we'll handle. It's going to be interesting to see how this one handles the 2 turns. What do you think?
Yeah, I'm glad that he drew towards the inside.
Right.
Off of the sprint, off a little freshening. Would have liked to see maybe one more race under his belt. It's a field. Some of these horses, they just kind of they try, but they just don't bring a punch. Right. He was rolling late. I think breeding suggests he should be able to handle the extra ground. This inside draw is good. And I know you've got a lot of different stats, but I'm looking at the quick one here on the form.
Tell me.
Second off of this kind of layoff, he's 54%, shorter sample of 13 horses. But I don't know if your stats go a little deeper and a positive ROI. That's strong.
We're talking second after the layoff, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I just have a more. I get the more recent ones, which. He's 4 for 9, so 44. It's right by there. 44%, 1 second. So higher in the money with that second after the layoff, right by there. Ghost Zapper, 16% with his first-time routers as well. That's the Dam Sire for Bubba Chrome as well. So a lot of breeding. The stats, we got a lot of supporting stats for Bubba Chrome, which is what made him so attractive to me. On top of that, now with this track, with the way it's playing. What helps is that we're stretching out. So this horse came from off the pace going sprinting naturally. This horse is going to be placed a little bit more forwardly since we go around the 2 turns here today.
Yep, keying against Ice Cube Baby. Yeah, a little bit jump up, a little protect move. They like what they saw last time. Now everybody in this race, the odds plummet. Right. Because of the 6-5 scratch. Everything's going to be cut, a lot of these horses, in half. I still think it's a very tough race, wide open. General JR's had experience. I think Duke of Dooley. Second time blinkers, just tossed the last was 3-1 into Johnny French Fry. That's good enough for me. Johnny French Fry would be a short price. I think with a cleaner break today, inside draw certainly can stay the trip. And the 6 issues in latest. Russell Barn, all they do is win. This horse will be fine.
Absolutely.
Going this mile 16.
Yeah, so race number 5, Keith Fusel goes 3-2-6-1. I go 3-1-6-4. And we'll be right back. We're going to hit up a commercial break and be right back for the rest of the card.
We're ready for the start. They're off.
Code FAST100 at first.com/bet. A nice promotion that First always has going on for you. And this is a great race that you could possibly play that to. This nice allowance, 5.5 on the turf. Keith, I ended up going 6 wide on my ticket. There's a lot to offer in this. Yeah, exactly. You said it. A lot to offer in this race. I didn't even have the 7 on my ticket at all. Join the dots, but Shug McGahee, Forrest Boyce, why not? Absolutely a solid effort last time out at that allowance level up there at the Belmont at Aqueduct Meet. So we get a little bit of. We're at a first after a layoff situation. Where Shug McGahee currently 16% as of late with that stat specifically.
I think 5.5 is going to be perfect for her, and just
especially with this extended stretch.
Yeah. I think it's going to work. She was against better up in New York, and only gets beat a little bit by Mrs. Green, who won her next, and then came back and just missed in a 2 other than. A lot saltier race in field than what this one's going to face this afternoon. So join the dots. You've got the right kind of rider, this jock-trainer combo. Yeah, they're going to be right there. I think she can just draft in, sit, longer run, and just steadily wears them down in the stretch. I still want to get a little bit of a price. I know with McGahee going to attract attention, but there's a myriad of horses that could win this. I throw the 5 into the mix. Translate.
Yep.
Do we have a video for that one?
We do. We have a video on Translate.
See if this girl, if she can hold form, she's gonna be right there. squeezed back early soon after the break. We see that. We can see it one more time, and has to settle back out of it. There you go. Thanks, guys. And Claire's Darling just doing things her own way up front, but works a trip, gets out here about 5 wide, and really makes a good run. Tough beat making a run up here. Bath and Tennis is going to get the bob. But Translate, I mean, she just this is her game. Sprinting on the turf. I think this is almost like a sideways move when you look at it comparatively to that last field. So I don't think this is any kind of real reach for Translate. Can she hold form into the new barn?
And that's where we get Ferris Allen to, let's see, he's first after the claim. He was hot first after the claim. Last 30 claims that he's had, 2 winners next time out, 3 seconds, 9 thirds.
Okay.
So I like where you have that horse placed, because the 9 thirds, that's win place show, that's 10%, almost 10% in show first after the claim for Ferris Allen. And I like really how this filly stepped up, and he's doing it at the right time. This filly is still holding form when this horse was with Rob Falcone Jr. Because we're just coming back, maybe about 3 weeks later, so should be able to retain a little bit of what's going on there. Absolutely, Keith.
Yeah, I hope they can squeeze one more race out of her, because it's later in the year. They decided to go ahead.
Right.
They were fine with parting ways with her. We'll see if she can jump up and run one more. I go 7-5-1-12. Island Philo coming back.
Of course.
Was against the boys last time and used early. That's not her game.
Nope.
Toledo gets along with her well. Aroa does too. But Toledo should be just fine. Hopefully not get shuffled too much early. Be able to kind of handle it and work out a trip from the top of the stretch home. You've got the 2 in there, which I think is going to be a square price as well. She looked like a winner last time out.
She did. So we'll see what happens there. Caramanos teamed up with her to get a win at this level. We'll see how, and she was able to handle a good track. So I'm looking for some horses that can handle a good track. Island Philo is one of those in the Jamila. Dennis Araujo gets along with her well, but just hasn't gotten that elusive win when they team up together yet. So we'll see what happens there. But Island Philo, I really like underneath. Don't forget that chrome-plated heart also draws in, and that filly is looking really nicely. You've got her at 6-1. They dropped her down for the 16, gave her a bit of a confidence booster, so we'll see what she comes back up with. But I also include the 14 as well. But you go 7-5-1-2. Yeah. I go 2-3-1-9 on that one. Race number 8. Excuse me, I skipped right over race number 8. My goodness. Race number 7 is this maiden special. Wait, 7 furlongs on the dirt. A tricky distance first time out for these first-time starters. So we've got a scratch in John Hall and a scratch in the number 6, Noble Home, both of which I use. So that leaves me with the 4, but it leaves you with the number 9, Circling the Drain, Brittany Russell, Fergal Lynch. Why not?
Yeah, you just hope the stats kind of hold true. Just been productive with these firsters. West Coast Stallions, okay with the first-time starters, 10%, but 6 winning sibs. Was actually half to the mom of John Hall, believe it or not, going back and look at the breeding, who's in town. But capable horses, has had a debut winner out of 6 starters. 2 horses have also run third, so gets that comfortable spot outside. But, man, he's going to have to be ready, is Circling the Drain. I like the 4 General News. I think he got a lot out of that. This is your top selection, right?
Yep,
We've got
we also
video.
video.
Yeah, let's take a look at the video of General News. This 2-year-old by Army Mule, the colt for Stormy Stable. Right there, out of the gate. Just a little. And they sat in there a long time, if I'm not mistaken, this particular day.
Correct.
And kind of came out almost a little brush of the gate. Gets a little off kilter, right, Cal? And then just sends really, really hard. I'll let you talk this trip through.
Just starts trying to send, and that was such a late move to be able to do that. And I get why you're trying to do that, but if you're at that point with the first time, and I'm going to rip apart a little bit, but if you're at that point, and I didn't know what instructions Caramanos got beforehand, but when you're dealing with a first-time starter, you don't quite get the break. And I could see Caramanos' appeal, get that horse out of the dirt, try and get him moving, but this early move just really did him no disservice. Used up all the horse early, so we're going to be looking at absolutely a more positive start for this one for the Damon Deal-Devico. Damon Deal-Devico, second-time start. Here we go. 6 for 13. 46% with those second-time starters as of late. The barn's on fire, so just a bit of a mishap. Didn't really, again, we just discussed it, a work on November 13 to really sharpen this horse up. Just a quick 3-furlong workout, which I like not to take too much out of him from last time out. So I appreciate that move by the Deal-Devico.
Definitely flattered by the return of Prince of Jericho yesterday with the way that he kind of drew off from that field for Brittany Russell. And he took a lot of play into that big field. So he was well met. Just a little hiccup there out of the gate, feeling woozy. Also out of the Prince of Jericho race. Wide every step of the way, 7/8. I think it's going to work for him. It worked 2 races back when he did all the chasing. It still held on well. He's a horse that I think will settle a little bit and make a run. A lot of sense, unfortunate with DQ back in July. Where has he been is my question there. But you could do, Grand Motion's got a couple, as he always does, really well-bred firsters. It's just for him, he's 2 for 29. The 2-year-old made special weight firsters on the dirt the last couple of years. Not saying this horse they're going to jump up, but the percentages, I got to play with that right now, and just maybe underneath in my exactas, keying around the 4 and the 9. I'll use those first and second, throw a couple horses into the mix with them.
We both see it similarly. Keith Fusel going 9-4-7-5. I go 4-7-9-5 in race number 7. Race number 8 is this last feature allowance that we have for the 3-year-olds and up, 5 furlongs on the dirt. We both go with a little bit. I just take him right underneath, but this is your value play of the day. The video spotlight, if we could get that up on Hemp. Now in Michael Trombetta's barn, Johan Rosado gets the ride. A nice first-time out effort after a bit of a second layoff.
Yeah, showed some speed, flashed some speed from the gate, and then unfortunately kind of has to ease back. You see this heading into the turn and gives up a couple lengths trying to hold that position. Burks, I love Josie, some fast horses, even Rad Paisley into the mix. And second time back, getting onto that fast track and still kind of protected. So I think he's worth another shot in here. He's going to be dead fit off of those 2 tries, stayed inside, made that good steady progression into it. But you gotta make sure you get 5-6 to 1 on this guy. It's that tough of a race.
Right.
Demand the value with Hemp, but he's shown some really flashes on the go back. Maybe today is the day it all comes together. The 1 Frightland, scary kind of win last time. Going to have to go into a little tougher pace. That number came up huge on some of the other things I looked at, the handicapping services. But again, where's he been? That draw inside of some really fast horses, how will he handle it?
I think, and that's the biggest question. I'm taking a gamble on that. That 48 flat work encouraged me a little bit. So when I first looked at this horse, I said, okay, we do have a little bit of that same horse. So that's the biggest question, especially coming out of the rail. It's going to be a challenge for him, but also it does put the pressure on Fergal Lynch to really get this horse going and in that correct spot that he does need to be. He is possibly a need the lead type. So I go with 1, 2, and then we both go with 5. The 5 underneath. Golden Eyes. Absolutely, for Tim Keith Forrest. Boys, this horse, just a tough ask last time. He still was very competitive. Didn't miss by too much, though, in the Maryland Million Sprint. I think he's going to – my only question is the 5.5 from – I think the 5.5 might be – it could be today a tricky distance, but he's won on it. That was his last win, so we'll see what he shows up with again today.
Yeah, I like how the track's been playing a little bit. Maybe sit inside, work out mid-turn, and make that run as the track has been playing a little bit like that. And Golden Eyes is certainly going to get the flow. If Airport, Major If, and Rad Paisley come out cleanly, I don't think there's much separating those 2 into the turn and around the turn. Golden Eyes probably 5 or 6 out of it, leaving the 3/8. Will he ramp it up and get that steady progression when it we'll see. But that was an encouraging try last time against some really good horses in the Maryland
what's it?
Sprint.
Airport for Jamie
Airport's
Ness.
Quick too. Yeah, he's very fast.
Gets an outside post for Jamie Ness. That's what I like that move. Just tried too hard. There was too much going on. I think it was just a touch. And the problem is he comes against these types again. We have these Maryland Million sprinters, kind of the second tier coming in for this race again today. So I'm just giving him a little bit of that chance with that outside post. He may appreciate that a little bit better to be a piece of it, not to get the whole thing, but to certainly get a piece of it as you have him underneath as well. But let's go ahead into our nightcap today. Race number 9, a mile here on our Laurel Dirt. Maiden claiming 12-5. Keith, we both land on Awesome Dynamo. Jose Corrales, Walter Rodriguez, your proper even money favorite right now.
Yeah, real quick in the last, to the front, and should just keep on going. Breeding top and bottom, so just should be able to handle a route. I know on the go back did not, but I think it's definitely toughened up after these last couple races. Keffy came back to win off the race, looking for a little price shot. How about the 1? Draws inside. tough to overcome, but blinkers on, Lasix on, positive barn change, all kinds of angles there that work for the one as a price user underneath in your Exactas, tries, and Super.
I go the same way. I go with the outside 8 for Mark Beecher. Carlos, so we've got two things that I like with this Mark Beecher training, and this guy is a jump. You're a jump trainer, but gets a little sharp gate work at Pimlico, and then you have Carlos Lopez, and then you get an outside post. This isn't 2 turns; this is just 1 turn. If anybody, we'll talk about this in a bit, but Carlos is going to ramp this horse up a little bit and get this horse properly forwardly placed. So I go 6-8-3-2. Keith Fusel goes 6-1-7-5 for that nightcap here of a pretty tricky card that we have on Sunday racing here.
Yes.
But let's also bring up, we were just talking about Carlos Lopez. Wanted to just highlight something that happened last night at Charlestown with him. Take a look at the number 3 horse coming out of the gate. This is Carlos Lopez last night. Oof. Yes, right to hit the dirt, but now watch this. Swings back on, no problem. That horse, you think at that point just you would think that Carlos is just done. He's absolutely done. So gets back up, goes on, doesn't finishes, I believe, mid-pack in that race. There we go. We got a little bit of comes from off the pace, just really gives a good, honest effort. But Carlos went on to win 2 races after that, which is a really nice go. For him. So if Carlos Lopez can't stay on, I don't know who could. That was insane. So I just wanted to give Carlos a little bit of a kudos there. But Keith Fusel has your value play and your best bet. But your best bet is in race number 6, race number 7. Join the dots. The Shig McGahee. That's a good best bet.
Yeah, we've got McGahee boys combination. It's always been good the last few years here in Maryland, especially on the turf course. I think a little bit of relief here and Join the Dots can close in to get it. Value play. Every day is a value. Every race is a value play.
Yes.
Yeah, 82 Hemp for Trom, about a third off the break. Hopefully he can avoid a little trouble into the turn and get a clear run to make that run from just off the pace. There you go. Tough card, everybody.
Tough card.
Load up the first bet account. Take advantage of any bonuses that they have for you today. We may need them.
You're going to need them. Let's see what other information Dave Rodman has for us in more changes and scratches. Thank you so much, everybody.
All right. Good luck.